Welcome to the Newscaster Archives. I'm your host, Tom Russell. For decades, investigative journalists have chased the stories that shape our world. But sometimes the most revealing details don't make it to print. They end up misfiled, misplaced, or entirely forgotten in cardboard boxes at the back of quiet archives. Today we are unearthing the lost interviews, restoring raw, unreleased audio fragments that bring a fierce, localized battle back to life. Our story begins in July of 2013 on the rural coastline of Levy County, Florida. Listen closely to this raw recording, recovered from a dusty cassette tape.
We were the last town standing in Levy County. Every storefront on US Highway 19 was lined with fruit-flavored cigars right at child eye level. We had to push back.
Those were the words of a quiet but defiant voice from the Inglis Town Council from over a decade ago. By the summer of 2013, public health coalitions had successfully swept through Levy County, Florida, persuading almost every single municipality to adopt resolutions controlling the aggressive retail placement of youth-vulnerable tobacco products. But the quiet coastal town of Inglis stood as a lone holdout. Positioned right along the heavily trafficked U.S. Route 19 corridor, Inglis became a battleground. Retailer lobbies fought hard, successfully stalling local ordinances for months. Their goal? To keep highly visual, candy-flavored shelf spaces directly beside the checkout counters and within arm's reach of children. But public pressure eventually forced a pivot, culminating in a historic, hard-fought local accord. Let's listen now to an interview with an Inglis merchant who had already taken steps to protect the town's youth. He recalls the resolution passed by the town commission.
This is Tom Russell.
Yeah, hey, Tom.
Hey, I got a copy of that resolution the other day on the tobacco products, and I'm going to do a squawk box on it, and I need some comments to go with it. You can remain anonymous if you want, but I need to know what you thought about that.
Well, I talked to the mayor about it, okay? And basically it's, what that resolution was, it's for tobacco-flavored candy. And it's not only banned in Inglis, but it's banned in 95% of the counties in Florida. So, are you following me?
Yeah, I'm following. I'm just listening.
Right.
I'm taking notes.
It's not the flavored cigars or any of that we sell, you know.
Okay.
It's basically what it is. It's okay. You ever seen that the bubble gum that looks like a tape bubble gum that has different flavors?
Yeah.
It comes in a can. Okay. This is what this thing looks like. And what the marketing ploy on that is, they put that right next to where the kids' candy is, and the kids pick it up. You know. So it has nicotine in it.
You don't sell it. You don't sell it.
No, nobody. I actually, until when I talked to her, I had never even heard of it. So, and you know, they're obviously anything that's tobacco and geared towards the kids. You know, the federal and state government go after them. So that's what this is.
It actually doesn't even apply to you.
No. Nope.
What about any of the other establishments in town? And I think you know what we're talking about.
I don't know if they're selling that.
Yeah.
They sell a lot of stuff that they're not supposed to. So who knows?
Yeah.
You know. But like I said, and when she even came over here and she gave me another paper that has a list of counties and cities that have banned it, and we were probably one of the last ones to do it. So, and I don't blame her. You know.
Okay.
So, yeah. And
so it won't affect your retail sales at all.
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
And then I don't think she was aware that, and I made her aware of that, there's a state law that if you put any kind of tobacco products, you cannot put that on the floor. They have to be non-self-service. And if it does sit on a counter, it has to be in an enclosed glass case where the customer customer cannot get to it. And we cannot keep any cigarettes on the counter anyways.
And you can't sell to anybody under 18.
Absolutely not, no.
Right.
The resulting 2013 policy was remarkable for its precision. It targeted the exact mechanics of youth marketing through 3 strict regulatory pillars. First, display bans. The town completely prohibited placing fruit, candy, or beverage-flavored tobacco products within 3 feet of school lunchboxes, toys, or soda machines. Second, buffer zones. High-impact outdoor banners and self-standing promotional panels highlighting flavored nicotine were banned within 1,000 feet of school grounds. And finally, no self-service. The town mandated that all candy-styled nicotine wrappers be moved strictly behind the retail counter, rendering easy self-service physically and legally impossible. Up next is a lost recording with a spokesman from the Levy Coalition for a Smoke-Free Florida. Let's listen in.
Hello?
Hi, this is Tom Russell at Newscaster.
Tom, yes, thank you for calling me back.
Yeah, how's it going over there?
Oh, pretty busy in time for the long weekend.
Yeah. What's the name of the organization you represent?
Well, it's the Levy County Tobacco Free Partnership is the community organization, but I work with the Foot Doc Foundation. We're the facilitator for the partnership.
Right. And what's the purpose of the organization? What's your goal?
Well, we're a state grantee. One of our goals is to educate on the new flavored tobacco products out there that are specifically marketed to youth. And so we share the information with local community partners and different municipalities and counties take various actions on their own. And so last week, town of Inglis had decided to pass a resolution on the flavored tobacco that you probably saw. I think they were interested in doing so because the town of Bronson and city of Williston had done so just a month ago.
About how many municipalities do you have right now that have gone along with this?
Across the state, there's over 100. I'd have to do a specific count. And in fact, I can email you the latest state map that shows you all of the cities and then which of the counties have actually passed one too. And Levy, the county, passed one about a year ago. And now we have Bronson, Williston, and Inglis.
These are strictly advisory sort of resolutions. They can't actually force anybody to do anything, right?
Yeah, they are. Now, some places have actually taken upon themselves to get ordinances, and the ordinances are product placement ordinances. They're not to ban tobacco or even flavored tobacco, but to have them simply put behind the counter, because a lot of the flavored products are like the little cigars and the blunts are usually at the point of sale, and they're a lot cheaper than the other tobacco. And what we found is law enforcement has told us that those products in particular are being used more and more for drugs, marijuana, cocaine, and so to try to help restrict youth access, it's best just to have all the tobacco behind the counter. And so some counties like I know Levy County and City of Williston not only have their resolutions, but they also have product placement ordinances that have actually been in place for at least the last decade.
Right. Yeah, I talked to one retailer this morning. He already does that. His product placement is either under glass or behind the counter.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's responsible retailers like that I think should be recognized somehow. is we're certainly not anti-business. We're out there to educate not only the parents and the community leaders, but also the let the folks know. Sometimes some people get confused, and I'm talking about adults, not only the youth but adults, and knowing, well, is this candy or tobacco? Especially if it's placed at like the point of sale.
Right.
So, for the retailers who've been around for a while, I think they probably are aware of the product placement ordinance. But there might be some who aren't. So, I think the resolution, the real purpose behind the resolution is that it's a symbolic gesture that these communities are taking a moral stand, and to encourage retailers to kind of think twice about some of the things that they have for sale, like the products I had mentioned that are used for drug paraphernalia, for instance. Some of these obscure companies that come from out of the state and even outside the country, and you could get some of these single little flavored cigars for like 49 cents. You might get a pack of 20 for $1.06 versus a pack of cigarettes for $6. So they're super cheap, but where they're placed and how they're packaged and their price and everything, and kind of the hint of what they'd be used for is, I think, clearly targeted as, hey, this is the next best thing. And this is really important to note, I think. Last year, when we facilitated the Florida Youth Tobacco Survey, it's called the Florida Youth Tobacco Survey of 2012, it was the first time in Florida's history where the youth who were surveyed across the state in both middle and high schools answered more of them had used cigars than cigarettes. And that's the first time ever where cigarette use has dipped under cigar use. So it's pretty reasonable to say that we're not talking about like the big premium adult type of cigars, the hand roll ones. We're talking about these other little products. And for like the retailer you mentioned, it's great when they put behind the counter, and sometimes when they even put it out of sight or maybe under in the glass or whatever. We still have a lot of work to do out there, and if you saw the numbers in Levy County from 2008 to 2012 of tobacco use, it's gone through the roof in terms of cigar use and smokeless spit tobacco. I mean, it's through the roof compared to other places like Gilchrist and Dixie counties where we've actually seen good decreases in those categories. So we, as a Quit Doc organization, we just picked up Levy County last year to start working in it, and so we feel like we're well positioned to help reverse that trend. And I think the resolutions at least point to the problem. At least it generates awareness about it. And again, not saying, hey, we're going to ban these certain things, but retailers on their own can voluntarily decide, what, I don't really, maybe it's not in the community's best interest to put these things out.
The full, unedited field journals and archival recordings of this rural retail dispute are now fully restored. You've just heard the voices of the business owners, the health advocates, and the local leaders who lived through it. Thank you for listening to the Newscaster Archives, the Lost Interviews.